I was just pondering over something. Some days back, I I was just looking into the scripture and I came across one of the observation of Solomon. That is in Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 2. 2a says that it is better to go into the house of the mourning. You can say house of the sorrowing than the house of a feasting. In other words, I will just put it this way: it is better you go for where, in fact, burial ground, than a mortuary, pass where then they do enjoyments. The implication of that passage is that in your entire life, you ought to have what always make you have a reflection of what life is. Now, I have some challenge with that passage, considering or reconciling it with the event of things in our time now. In this part of the world, have you observed or have you taken note that recent development has shown that, in fact, the nearest place of throwing of parties now are the funeral place. Funeral place where you see a lot of things happening in this part of the world. Funeral place this time does not look like what it used to be. At least when you go to a funeral place, I've visited, at least you'll be seeing some person crying. If there is no stranger there, the relative. But this time around, what you see is a colorful, luxurious, and competition, different kinds of tents that you've not seen before, costly appearances, and the rest of them. I'm not questioning that, nor telling you not to go into it, but I want to put you in consciousness that the consciousness of reflection of life when you go into a funeral ground is drastically going. In fact, a place where somebody ought to come and feel about what next life is. But let me tell you, as you live and you count your blessing and name them one by one, let me advise us that Solomon is telling us that in every days of our life, let us have a connection of what will bring us to the consciousness of knowing what life is all about. Do you know that we are coming from somewhere and one day we will leave this world? The next thing is, are you justified before God? Are you numbering your days and applying wisdom in it? If you go to a funeral place, do you always have the consciousness that it can be, you can be the next person on the line? I'm not cursing you. But I want to let you know that if Christ tarries, one day many of us will go. The question is, where will you find yourself? Have you gone to a mortuary and see what is lying there? In as much as the feasting is becoming so common and is full of competition, let the consciousness of a funeral place remind us of what life is all about, so that we have a sober reflection over our life and we think of the next life. God will help us. Thank you.